Yeah, I'm Paul Huggett. I've got lived experience of hepatitis C and addiction. I started off as a volunteer for the Hep C Trust, and now I work for the Hep C Trust. Yeah, like I said, growing up was good. You know, I was a good golfer, county level golfer, international golfer, you know, scholarship over to America. I had deals of turning pro and going on tour and all sorts. And I came home on Christmas and I hadn't seen my school friends for about 3 years. This thing on the floor, I didn't know what it was. Turns out it was heroin. And I did it every day for 3 weeks. Drugs had such a hold over me very quickly, you know, and I used drugs in a way where Hep C was sort of inevitable. You know, I was an IV drug user. I went to a very low spot very quickly, and it got to a point where I was sort of so broken. You know, I ended up sort of street homeless and doing the hostel circuits. I ended up in jail for a very long time for drug offences, 13-year sentence. Yeah, so I was in drug services for probably 20 odd years, you know, and whether I dodged the test or whether they even asked me, I don't know, but I avoided the test in the community, basically through fear, you know, stigma. What we need to do is get rid of the fear and stigma. You know, what we need to do is make people who have put themselves at risk confident enough to call themselves, put myself at risk and have a test, please, with no judgment. I actually thought it was mandatory, you know. I thought, yeah, they've asked me for a test, I've got to give them one, I'm in jail now. So I did the test, got called back to healthcare a little bit later on. A few weeks down the line, there was like 6 of us in healthcare, and the nurse went down the line, you can go, 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 you need to see the doctor. The things I used to get up to, it could have been anything, you know, and I went in and saw the doctor and he said, yeah, you've got hepatitis C. And when I asked the doctor back then about Hep C, this was in 2003, he didn't really know a lot about it, to be honest. The nurses didn't know anything, there weren't no information on it. So they just told me and just threw me back in my cell. So for me, mentally, it was a real dark time. A lot of the client base I work with today have had these similar, you know, things happen to them, and sometimes it's hard to engage people into this, into Hep C treatment because of the treatment they've had back in the day. After about 18 months of being in jail, they sort of offered me treatment and they took me to Addenbrooke's Hospital. You know, nowadays it's basically you take the pills, you're going to get cured. You know, very little side effects. I mean, for example, we could test on a Friday, you'll have your meds the following Friday. You know, and all it is a simple tablet. You take that for a few weeks, you're cured. I just think people today are so very lucky with the option of treatment they've got today. Not only that, the support and the knowledge that's known about Hep C now. Because if you know about this stuff and you can talk about it with confidence, you ease fear and stigma. For me, what it did to me, I did my treatment, I ended up getting the all clear. I'd just beat a killer disease. And I promise you, it was the catalyst for me to start to get well. It was a mindset change I had. I started to believe. And also another thing is the person that supported me through my treatment, I became willing to engage, willing to listen. You know, if he tells me to turn up somewhere at 2 o'clock, I'm there at 2 o'clock because he supported me at my darkest time. It was a massive turning point in my life. It really was. I didn't realise how common it was. You know, I mean, half of all IV drug users show evidence of hepatitis C, which is frightening, really. That's a big number, you know, so it's really quite common. I suppose the message is get a test, get treated, you know, get cured. And then if you are unsure, just get a test. I mean, I've been very fortunate. I worked for the Trust for, it's not far, 5 years now, and in that time, you know, have engaged and gone on to treatments, hundreds of people. The change in their life has been dramatic, you know. I mean, we're looking at getting more staff to get the level of support needed because we deal with a lot of vulnerable people, a lot of people who need support, and without us, they're not going to get onto and through treatment, that's a fact. You know, so the idea is to put the support in place so that everybody has access to treatment. You know, when you can see the impact you're having in people's lives, I mean, it's gold, isn't it? It's beautiful. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I'm blessed.